Sounds good? Ready? Okay. Sergeant Melissa Solis, Melissa Soliz, Sergeant with the Phoenix Police Department, Public Affairs Bureau. So earlier this morning, just before 5 a.m., our officers were responding to a call for service at 27th Avenue and McDowell Road at a business. While officers were still en route to this call, somebody from the business called 911 and stated a man was acting erratic inside. The first officer arrived on scene, went inside the business, and was directed to where this man was. The officer and the man both walked outside of the business to have a conversation. During their interaction, the man started to violently and physically attack the officer. The officer was able to grab a less lethal device and discharge his taser at the suspect. During this time, the suspect continued to fight, and the officer lost control of his taser. The suspect continued to actively go after the officer, and that's when the officer-involved shooting occurred. A few minutes later, additional officers arrived on scene. The suspect was transported to the hospital, where he remains in serious but stable condition. Right now, I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. We do have our body-worn camera that was activated by our officer out there. He was the only officer on scene at the time of the incident. Our detectives still are combing through a lot of surveillance. The body-worn camera, they're still trying to see if there's other cameras that capture anything. So we're gonna probably be out here for a long time with the same road closures. Do you guys have any further questions?
Any information on the suspect that you're gonna give out right now at this time?
We know he's an adult male, and he is in serious but stable condition at a local hospital.
And that violent attack, was that just a weapon?
That's something that we're still got to look at every angle and see with. Hopefully we have some more answers by the end of today. I'm hopeful that we can have some type of update, but as of right now, it's something that we're still trying to go through to see exactly what happened. But I do know that he was violently attacking the officer.
Did the business say anything about his activity inside? Like when you say he was acting erratic, was there something that spurred him on, or he just walked in that way, acting a certain way?
This is something that we're hoping that the surveillance cameras did capture exactly what the erratic behavior was, but it was described that he was being erratic. Now, whether that was yelling or anything else, I don't have that, or if there were any altered state of mind on board. That's something hopefully that we can get answers to later.
Hey, is the police chief coming out to talk about how this is the fourth OIS in 5 days?
Our chief was out here today. He was out here a majority of the entire morning. He actually just left. We are all very aware of how many officer-involved shootings we've had. This is something that it's concerning. Our officers do respond to calls every day, all day, that can potentially end up in officer-involved shootings or violent. It's important to note that a lot of these incidents do end up peaceful, or we're able to utilize less lethal tools to come to a conclusion of these events.
When will he address the media about this situation?
We're hoping that at some point, this is something that he knows and he's taking very seriously. And as soon as we can...
We were moved over here this morning a 3 hours ago. Does he not want to be seen in public? We haven't seen him in a long time.
Our chief, I can assure you, is around. We are very busy. As you can imagine, we are very busy responding to several calls. Everyone's doing their part.
Was his presence at the scene the reason why we were moved from our location closer to the scene?
Absolutely not. This was a part of the scene. It was for the integrity of the scene. Our investigators needed to have that, and it was just something that it was inappropriate to have me provide sound to you guys with that type of backdrop.
This goes to show you what you guys have to put up with, right? I mean, you get a call, everything seems like it's going according to plan, the person's talking with your officer, and it turns on you in a split second. This is what your officer are having to deal with.
Yes, and every day, like you mentioned, this This isn't just this incident. Our officers are dealing with these. As you can imagine, you mentioned a few just in the past couple of weeks. These are violent attacks. Our officers are reacting to this. They're not going to these calls, assuming that it's going to end up as an officer-involved shooting. We are responding to the actions of the people, the community members, or whoever are calling the police wanting help. That's something, hopefully, that's a great question. We don't really know where his whereabouts were or why he chose that business or location, so hopefully we do have answers to that. There's no indication that there's any other type of victim, but again, that everything's subject to change once they start interviewing more people that might have been inside the business, that maybe witnessed it, or they can find more people on camera that might have been a witness to anything.
How was your officer doing at this point after the struggle? It looked like there was a loose clip that was out on the scene, part of it, something that might have flown off of his body as part of the struggle. Is he doing okay?
As you can imagine, an officer-involved shooting, no matter what kind it is very stressful. It can be very emotional for everyone involved. They're called critical incidents for a reason. Our officer, I did speak to him. He is doing okay. But these are stressful. These are not easy. Anytime we have to discharge our weapon, it's not easy. We don't go into this profession wanting to do that. So it's just something that, obviously we're thinking about everybody involved.
Any information on your officer? How long has he been on the force, that kind of stuff?
I don't have the exact years. Under 10 years, I believe.
How many witnesses are you talking to right now, and what you're learning from the other witnesses about what they saw and the whole story, everything else right now?
Our investigations are, once the scene is okay in Code 4, everything kind of slows down. As you guys can imagine, they're going to try and talk to as many people as possible that were in there, that saw it, that heard it, to make sure that for the integrity of the case that everyone's spoken to. I don't have an exact number on how many people that is.
As far as the business itself, it's a bus depot. We were understanding that there was possibly a bus that had just come into the station at the time, and people were having to wait on a bus. Do we know if they were able to take him to a different station and let everybody off a bus, or were there still some people on buses?
I wasn't given any information about any rerouting or what happened to those people, or if they were transported to another location or not. But that is everything I have. I appreciate you guys hanging out all morning. Thank you.
Hey, Vic, you want to just do a look?